I don't see color the way you see color, and obviously you hate white people.
Well, hello there. um, Before I start with what I want to start, let me just emphasize this. TikTok, this is not harassment. This is not hate speech. This is fact checking. Okay? Now that we have this out the way, I made notes. Let's get right into it, shall we? So you started your video with, I shouldn't tell, that you were told not to tell Black people how to feel. I have never met any Black person that just wakes up one morning and is like, hey, let me go on the internet and tell random white people what to do and what not to do without any context, without any connotation, without any, reference involved. So if I was to be in your shoes, maybe take a step back and imagine maybe you did tell Black people how to feel without telling Black people how to feel, okay? Because I can call you a lot of names. I can insult you in a lot of ways without insulting you, People can say things without actually saying things. That's called sugarcoating shit, okay? And historically seen, I think we are, as white people, very experienced in that. Just a tip. You then went ahead to say my video wasn't even directed to Black people. Very thin ice, because why would you in the first place, right? Again, if Black people tell you that you directed your video to Black people, it would be kind of racist and ignorant for you to sit down and be like, but I didn't do that. You get, right? Because, it's the receiver's message that matters, because you can say A and somebody receives B. Does that mean you said A? Probably not. Does that mean you said B? Probably not. Why? Messages are indeed subjective, okay? The way you say something might not be the way somebody might experience it or receive it, and vice versa, okay? So to only listen to the Black people that clap and tap you on the back might not be the way. Just saying. You went on to say that you got a lot of hate flags from Shanti's followers. And I'm wondering, why are you holding a Black man accountable for the actions of people that he has no control over? That's kind of weird. Because last time I checked, Shanti is not responsible to whatever his followers do or don't do, say or don't say. Common sense, actually, right? Oh, I am not racist. You said it. I'm only quoting you. Here's the thing. As white people, and I know that's going to be a lot, but I will say it anyway. We are born with the fact that we are white. We are born with one collective historical guilt, a shitload of privileges, whether we want them or not, whether we are poor, whether we are not poor. White privilege has nothing to do with one's financial situation, with one's career, etc., etc. So to say that you are not racist when we are literally born into a system of racism that gives us benefits only for the fact that we are white is a stretch, my guy. It's indeed a stretch, because every white person is born racist. Unfortunately, that is what it is. We are all born into a system of racism that gives us not only privileges, but gives us historical benefits, has participated in the whitewashing of history that up till now we have not done a single movement, have not done a single effort to correct the lies that people that look like you and me have upheld for hundreds of years. I get you will be saying, oh, I never owned slaves. Trust me, brother, neither did I. Okay, but that's neither here nor there, because clearly you don't have to run around calling Black people the N-word. You just have to be dismissive and defensive to be racist. I didn't like your tone when you spoke about white supremacy tactics, because it looks like you were saying Shanti is implying something that wasn't there, when in reality, neither you nor me are even able to see white supremacist tactics, because yet again, we are white. So in many cases, by the way, the abuser would be like, oh, I did not abuse. I only disciplined, right? I didn't say anything bad. I just fact-checked. I didn't do this. I only called out their misbehavior. Or I didn't bully them. I just told them they need to lose weight because they're unhealthy. You get the point? You get the point? The oppressor and the abuser is never going to come out and be like, yeah, I abused them. And that's literally what you said. Because white supremacist tactics are also literally being able to abuse without ever having to admit that you abused. Yeah, bad experiences with white people in reference to Shantae. And then you said, the truth is, I had bad experiences with black people. Now, listen, that's no comparison whatsoever, you know, because you having bad experiences with black people ends on an interpersonal level. Black people having problems with white people or bad experiences with white people is literally a systemic level. It's something that they cannot escape. You get that? Because whiteness and the attachment of whiteness to people is something that they cannot escape, because we live in a predominantly white society. So living in a predominantly white society as someone that is being labeled lesser human, that has been dehumanized and has been demonized throughout the history of mankind by the same people that are saying, oh, I have made bad experiences with black people, you get that holds no systemic power, right? So your experiences with black people can in no way, shape or form be compared to black people having bad experiences with white people, because once they leave their house, they are 100% going to make bad experiences with white people. When you and me leave the house, how is the likelihood that we are going to make systemic bad experiences with black people? Now you're going to say, oh, it's not about system, it's not about interpersonal. Yeah, I get that. But it still is. Because an interpersonal level of being bullied for being white, for instance, has no systemic power. It's not going to affect you in no way. And in opposite of that, you are on the beneficial side of history, of society. You can defend yourself. A few weeks back, an innocent black man was literally unalived by the same system that you are calling white supremacist tactics. This man, 1.4 million people signed petitions to keep him alive. He was still unalived by the same system that gives you and me advantages and benefits just because we are white. And you really want to compare your experiences to that of a black man in a predominantly white society that was found while black people were still legally not being classified human beings, were AKA still in fucking shackles? Seriously? And of course, you continued strong and you ended your video even stronger. I don't see color the way you do. Of course you don't, because you're a white man. So why would you see color like a black man does? Because the moment a black person gets into society, which is anywhere between 6 months and 2 years, they are going to start seeing color by force. They are going to experience racism by force. Many of us live in denial until their adulthood, not even being aware of the fact that we are white, because there is no systemic issue. There is no systemic force behind us even recognizing that we are white, because we are never being exoticized. We are never being dehumanized. We are never being othered. We are always being seen as the default human beings, AKA Caucasians. Maybe you might look that up. So there is no need for us to ever experience and see color the same way black people do. And then, of course, you couldn't have ended this video without the usual tokenism, right? Your fiancé is Asian, you have black nephews and nieces, you have black friends. What does these people have to do with any of these topics you just made? You know, there were literally slave masters that owned slaves, that had children with these slaves and still enslaved their own kids. So you having a proximity to an Asian person, a proximity to blackness, does by far not mean you're free from your internalized racism. And your video was a very good point of that. At the end of the day, I cannot judge what happened between you and Shanti, but I can judge what you're saying in this video, and you're really being the white man in this video. You're really using your systemic power to put down a black man and literally endanger him, because you do not know the impact this video might have on other people. Yes, you're also not responsible for your followers, but you're very much responsible about the message you put out there. And you have social hierarchy that you're completely forgetting. You're completely negating the fact that you are a white man that is literally the most beneficial human being on earth. That is the most, the default human whatsoever, that has in history of humanity always been the standard, always been holding power, upholding power, and oppressing other nations, other people, other genders. Why? Why are you so in denial of the obvious facts? I suggest you stop listening to reply and for once in your life, listen to actually learn. You might learn a thing or two. Because if you don't want to be called racist, don't be one.